Hey guys, how's everyone doing? I've been meaning to do this video for a while now. I felt like I needed a rest from doing the videos. I've been a bit tired and I didn't feel like doing videos. I wanted to have a break for a bit because I've been doing so many, and sometimes it is hard to force myself to do a video if I'm not feeling like it. It's a bit of a contradiction because I've encouraged people over the years through these videos to push themselves when they don't always feel like doing things, because there's such a huge benefit within that. But I also do think that there is a place for not sometimes forcing things when you don't feel like it, because then it doesn't come out very good. When you're doing something and your heart's not really in it, people can sense that. For one, they can see it, and then your performance is not as good. So it's a bit of a struggle to find the balance. Anyway, today I wanted to talk about intermittent fasting or intermittent fasting. So basically, I never thought I'd be doing a video on diets. I never thought I would, but there's a lot I want to speak on this, and I want to get your thoughts and opinions as well. So basically, through the lockdown, a lot of people have been talking about putting on weight and not being happy because of the extra weight gain. Obviously, because for a lot of us who are not working, lost jobs, or not able to work because of the coronavirus and the restrictions, and for some of us that might not have big social circles, or we're not living with our parents, we're living on our own, so we're spending a lot of time on our own at home. And obviously when you spend time on your own, what do? You tend to start comfort eating. And I've always been a comfort eater, to be honest, even when there hasn't been a lockdown. From a young kid, I've always ate too much snacks, sugary stuff, and so forth. But for me, I was always a skinny kid growing up, so I always had a fast metabolism. So I would never put on weight, and that was a frustration growing up for me personally, because I hated being skinny. If I'm being honest, it used to make me feel insecure. It used to make me feel paranoid about how I looked. So I always wanted to gain weight. But as I've gotten older now, it's the opposite problem. I actually like being slim, toned, in shape. And throughout the lockdown, I'm sure a lot of you noticed, right? It did bother me. It didn't ruin my life, but it bothered me. I put on a lot of weight, right? I basically got fat. I got overweight. I had a double chin. I had a big belly, and I thought, nah, I'm not happy with this. So obviously now I've lost a lot of weight, and this is due to the intermittent fasting, or the intermittent fasting. There's two names here. And I know already a lot of you watching this video are going to probably know more about this diet than I do, or some of you have been doing it. And I want to speak on the benefits of this diet. And man, I'm not forcing anyone to start dieting. That's something that I'd never do. It's one of the most sensitive subjects, actually, is diets, people's body shapes, because it really does. It does play on our insecurities, how we look, how we feel about ourselves. So, yeah, for me, I've never had to diet my whole life. Now that I'm in my mid to late 30s, my metabolism's completely changed. It's slow now. If I eat like 2 or 3 meals 3 days in a row, I will put on I'll put on pounds. I'll put on the weight. So for me, it was more of an intuitive decision. I didn't really go online and type in how to lose weight, how to diet. I knew about the intermittent or intermittent fasting a couple of years ago. I think the only reason I heard about it actually was kind of like the rumours throughout the kind of, like throughout bodybuilding and training, because I've always been into fitness and training. It's something I've done on and off all my life. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, you can hit like and share, and you can subscribe to the channel as well. So I heard about this diet, right? And the reason why I love intermittent fasting or intermittent fasting, because there's not a load of BS. There's not a load of hassle. We haven't got to do a load of weird things. It's very simple. And I'll read the kind of fundamental essence, if that makes sense. It says here on Google. Hold on a second. Let me read this. Oh, I had it. I just lost it. Bear with me. Okay, where is it? Yeah, okay. So this is from a blog online. It looks like a good source. Intermittent fasting is an eating pattern that cycles between periods of fasting and eating. It doesn't specify which foods you should eat, but rather when you should eat them. in this respect, it's not a diet in the conventional sense, but more accurately described as an eating pattern. Fantastic. I mean, that just sums up exactly what I've been feeling. So for me, I love the idea that it's simple, it 100% works, and there is an element of fasting in it. And I'm going to also go into why I think this is very relevant to kind of my message on this channel, which is to try and help people to build their confidence and get control over their anxiety, improve their life in any kind of way. There's a self-improvement element to it, and I'll get to that in a second. I just want to talk about the weight loss that I found with it. Now, I'm glad because I totally got rid of the double chin. I know I've got a beard, but you can see my face is slim again. My face was getting really bloated, and I didn't like how I looked with a big face. It doesn't suit my body shape. Some people look good, you know, bigger, but and I did like that I filled out over the years because I didn't like being too skinny, but I didn't like the fact, you know, about a month ago, I didn't like having a big belly. I was getting out of breath, walking. I just had too much extra weight on me that was unnecessary, and I didn't like how it was making me look. I just looked different. I didn't look good. I started to look unhealthy, I thought. And to be honest, it's kind of funny. It was actually hard to speak at times with the extra weight because I couldn't breathe as clear as I can breathe now, being slimmer, if that makes sense. So it's kind of weird. I used to notice that when I was younger, that, you know, like if you see actors that were kind of skinny naturally, and then many years later you see them put on weight and they're doing an interview, and you're like, why does their voice sound different? Like they don't sound the same as they did when they were younger. And it's because of the extra weight gain. You know, these are all little things that do happen. I know I'm not like over-analysing, but it was a struggle to do some of my videos. I was thinking, am I anxious? I shouldn't be anxious because I've been doing this for years and I'm usually pretty confident in front of the camera, really, really comfortable, especially when I'm in my own setting, you know, and I'm filming my own videos. But it was the extra weight, it was kind of stressing me out, and it was actually giving me anxiety. I didn't realise. I was kind of saying it's not bothering me, but deep down it was bothering me, and maybe a lot of you are feeling like that, so maybe this video will inspire you. But as I said, I'm not telling people to lose weight, gain weight. It's their choice, right? It's always a choice, but if it can help someone, then that's great. So I was like, nah, I need to do something. So I just intuitively chose the intermittent fasting. If I'm being honest, it kind of suits me financially at the moment, because financially things are quite difficult for me than before, because obviously before I was working full time, and you know, I was making really, really good money, and I haven't been working throughout all this lockdown and before that for quite a while now, right, due to the mental health thing that I had to recover and stuff. So the intermittent fasting is brilliant because if you're eating less, you're spending less, you can save more money, right? That's something that you want to do, and you can get more discipline. Because what I realised as well, within this eating addiction that I had a real addiction with spending money. So it's crazy that doing the intermittent fasting diet has made me realise, or it's revealed that I've had a lot of like addictive patterns that have been causing a bit of a negative, like spending. And I like being generous, I've always been like that, right? I don't like being a tight person to the extreme, never have been like that. But overdoing it, you know, like there was a point I remember where I was eating like 3 main meals a day, like takeaways, like a Nando's, a Chinese meal, another Nando's, and then snacks on top of that. And that's just too much, that's just greedy. So doing the intermittent fasting has enabled me to build, definitely like feel more good about myself. So I hope this can help anyone. So it's just made me feel good, and it's really simple. Really, what I do is I eat one main meal a day. I only have one dinner a day on most days, and I'll have that dinner around 7 p.m, 8 p.m. at night. And of course, like I'll have a coffee in the morning or midday, or I'll have some fruit, but I won't have any meat, and then I might have a cake or something. But that reduction difference to having 2 main meals a day or 3 main meals with snacks on top, the weight's just dropped off, and it's been working really well. And I haven't been feeling like all lethargic or exhausted, and I think it's because it just feels intuitively really right on the body. And of course I'm starving when it gets to about an hour before my main meal. I only have one meal. and the appreciation that I have when I'm eating the meal is incredible. It makes you appreciate your food more, because you're kind of you're fasting, you're starving yourself, and it's healthier, I believe. And I don't know everything about this diet, I'm not claiming to, but from what I've read and seen, I don't think there's any like major health concerns, consequences of doing this diet. But I might be wrong, because I'm not a doctor or a dietitian, but from what I've understood, and it's definitely helped me to rapidly drop the weight, and to also to improve my diet. Like, from what I've read, now I don't know anything about intermittent fasting, right? It might encourage healthy eating, but naturally I've just started eating. Well, throughout the whole lockdown, I've been eating fruit every day, right? I was doing that even a bit before that, right? Because I've always felt fruit is important. Just trying to get the basics right. Drinking water, fruit. I drink green tea every day as well. So I'm not saying my diet's perfect, because I still do have a lot of sugar, which is something I'm working on reducing. It's such a hard thing to give up, but I don't put sugar in my tea. So can you see how a simple diet, from what I've understood, which really is focusing on an eating pattern, like it says on Google, it really does focus on an element of fasting. And we know throughout other things, I know in some religions that they fast, right? In most religions at some point they do it. So there's a real benefit of personal development and discipline and gratitude and respect. I'm not going overly like dramatic, but it does make you feel grateful, because when you go without food all day, and then your food arrives, the food tastes amazing, and the body just goes like, it just absorbs it, because it's hungry. And I read somewhere, or maybe I heard someone say, that there's a real evolutionary, like, tribal connection. Like, someone said that on one of my Instagram, which made sense, that years ago when we were hunter-gatherers or whatever, you guys will follow me on this, we did this, like back then people there weren't Nando's or this fast food, or people just didn't have the resources, so you'd probably be out hunting and working hard all day, and the main meal would probably come at the end of the day. So there's something intuitive about it. It feels right when you do it. Now, I'm not saying if I'm going to do this forever, and I haven't made that decision yet. I'm just going with the flow. But it's been great. I do feel better. I actually feel really good today doing this video. And I didn't think I would. So I've lost weight. I don't have a double chin. I've lost a lot of weight on my stomach. I'm not going to lie, I haven't got a six-pack. That's not my goal, but I always used to have a six-pack growing up. I had it throughout all my 20s. I haven't got a six-pack, but my belly's gone down, so I don't have like a big belly anymore. And even like my legs are slimmer. Yeah, but for me, I was glad. I just wanted to lose the double chin, because it doesn't suit my face. I've got a facial structure where it looks better, slimmer, so it works. The weight is just fallen off, and like I said, I'm saving on my finances. I'm not. It's made me realise before that I was eating far too much than my body needed, and it was unconscious eating a lot of time. I was eating when I weren't hungry. I was eating when I wasn't always depressed or down. There was that sometimes, but a lot of times it was just like, a habit basically that I wasn't in control of. And something that I've done a lot over the years, I think it's just a human thing. Whenever I've done well financially, or been in a good place financially in my life, I spend more, I eat more. And I'm realising that I don't have to do that. I could, if that's the case, then I'll probably rather give some of the extra money to charity, or give it to my parents, or put it into something more, do you know what I mean, more productive, something more helpful than overeating. And of course there's days where, obviously, if you're starving and you've been working and you want to have 2 meals, so I'm not telling anyone to do this, by the way. I'm just sharing my experience with this, and it was being like kind of talked a lot about throughout the self-help industry, personal development. I would see it on Facebook, YouTube. It's been a conversation amongst gym goers. So I was curious, and I was like, do you know what? When I think about it, when I was younger, I pretty much did intermittent fasting, because we didn't have much money growing up there. We couldn't, my parents' stuff, and we couldn't afford. Of course, I never went hungry. And parents would always give me. My mum would always cook me food. There was always food there, but there wasn't always loads of food. There were times where there wasn't an unlimited amount of cakes that I could eat, or we couldn't always afford takeaways growing up. So a lot of the time when I was younger as a kid, I would go out with my friends, and obviously I'd have a couple of pounds to get a drink and stuff and a snack, but there would be a long period of with eating. I'd have to come home, my mum would cook me the main meal, I'd be out all day playing football. And that's probably why I was such a skinny kid, even though I had a fast metabolism, because I exercised all day. I didn't overeat. But when I got later on in life, like I said, when I started a business in my late 20s and became successful, an entrepreneur, and was making a lot of money, I now had this extra money that I didn't have growing up. So there were no limits. So it's really made me realise, guys and girls, that even years ago, when I was teaching full time as an entrepreneur, as a coach, I didn't realise I had this problem, that I really had an addiction to eating and spending. It was a weird relationship with eating, just greed, just one after the other, meals, cakes, takeaways, or even home cooking, and even spending too much. I like being generous, but just, taking out, just constantly buying meals for friends, even though that I like doing that, but overdoing it. And it doesn't feel good. When you get to a certain point, every kind of addiction where you overdo it, you get to a point where you feel exhausted and you feel kind of sick mentally and emotionally. So I do feel a lot better, and I can't wait. I'm praying that this lockdown's going to finish so I can get back in the gym, and I want to get in fantastic shape. But I'm glad that the shape I've got in already, which is way better than being overweight, has just been from the intermittent fasting, the reduction, basically reducing 2 meals a day, because I was eating on average 3 meals a day. Now I only eat 1 main meal a day. I have 2 different lots of fruits. I have tea, and I'm not going to lie, I do have my snacks. I will have some packets of crisps and a chocolate, but I am fighting that as the next thing. So I believe the intermittent fasting is already changing my life. It's going to help me to reduce other addictions, and that's why I've been doing a lot of videos lately. I know it's a separate matter on porn addiction, because it's all part of improving your lifestyle. So I've got a feeling that a lot of people will like this video, and if you don't, you don't. Well, that's fair enough. But for those of you that are doing it already, please let me know in the box below what your experience has been, your benefits, and educate me more, because I'm still, I haven't gone online and read loads. I've just been doing it, and it works really well. It's very simple as well. And it does give you more confidence when you feel good about yourself, and you like the shape of your body, and there is a real element of gratitude, appreciation for money, for food, and you do think, God, what's it like? Yeah, what must it be like for people that are starving, that don't have any money, they've got no food at all, they're literally starving. It's an unbelievable thought. So yeah, that's I can't think of much more. I might do another video on this. Well, we'll see how it goes. This battery's going to run out soon. So yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else. And it's been a lot less stressful for me, because I think back in the day, I'd feel quite stressed out. It's weird, my schedule would stress me out because I'd always be eating a lot of meals. It was I think that was making me feel lethargic, all the food, all those carbs. So now it's a lot less stressful, because I know that it's only 1 meal that I've got to eat, and then the rest is, obviously I can have snacks, or I don't really eat breakfast. My breakfast is a mint tea or a coffee, or 2 packets of fruit, berries and blueberries and raspberries, and I also have a banana. So yeah, who knows where this is going to lead to. That's why I'm quite excited that this video might lead to something really positive for other people and for me as well, right? So become fearless. I'll see you in the next video, and this is intermittent fasting.